Hello, everyone. So this is a game between me, I'm white, and black is a OGS 7Q. And here it's a very simple opening. We just play Joseki here. He plays very strong here, so that's good. More Joseki. He approaches, which is okay. White could also Tanuki, but here I'm just trying to make a strong group. Approaches, backs off, has a very strong area. And normally when you have a double wing like this, where you have the 4/4 and then you have a stone on both sides, trying to invade like this or this is normally not a good idea because they can just kick and jump, and so they still have some weakness at the top. But the main thing is white has a hard time getting a base. Here it might be okay because this stone is weak, but the other side I think would be a lot worse. Again, they just kick, they jump, and you can't really make a good base here. So you just get a weak group that they can attack, which it does work as a reduction, but I think there's a better way, which is just 3/3. And no matter which side they block, it's the same. And just keep extending. And again, the entire top side now is pretty much gone. He has a wall here, but he has a single stone here, and I have a strong group here. So this area is not that big, and I can still reduce it. Okay, and then yeah, he does block. Then I jump, because again, I'm extending from my already strong group to try and reduce. And he tries to take the area, and I just go and take some more points. He invades this area because this is the biggest side of the board left, and I defend this side. If I defend the other side, then yeah, this group is very strong, but I do have to worry a little bit about this group. If he just goes here, later on, once black plays a move here, this doesn't quite have two eyes yet. So this is the weaker group. And so you always want to defend the weaker group. So I played from this side. He made a base, that was good. And this is the biggest area on the board. And I didn't want to invade, even though here I think I probably could. When you invade like that, you get attacked. So I was trying to reduce lightly from the outside. And he tries to split me, which is good, because if he just lets me connect, it's a little bit too easy for white. So I go down, and then he tries to attack. So here, this is okay because this group's strong, strong group, and strong group. So I only have the one weak group. And when you only have one weak group, it's a lot easier to try and live. But the main focus here is going to be more in-game, so I'm just going to quickly going through the game. And as you can see here, as I'm running out with the weak group, I'm kind of naturally reducing this area. But he plays the cap here, which is good. And then my goal here is just connect to my other group. So now all my groups are connected and strong. He plays a little bit slow here, but he does stop the connection. And now this is his biggest area. He doesn't really have that many points anywhere else. And this move is actually very big because it threatens the life and death of this group and also is threatening a cut. But I was trying to give him a chance to defend it. For now, this is the biggest area. So I want to reduce it. But I don't want to just jump in here because then it puts me in a situation where I have to live and then he has to kill, which is risky. So instead, again, I jump in with a connection because he can't really cut this, can't really do anything in the corner. My group is just connected. So you can't cut this off. So the most he can do is like play something like this, but I can still reduce it quite a bit. Okay, so he plays here, trying to maybe make points at the top, or just trying to connect to this stone. But you can see I can enter from this side, or I can jump here. So he's not going to make too many points here, and I can still jump in. So I play the attach. If I play the knight's move, then I have to worry about a cut. But if I attach, I'm still reducing a little bit, but I'm doing it with a connection. And now this is his widest open side, so I could try to just jump in here, but again, he can try and surround me, and it's risky. I want to reduce while being connected. Okay, and then he blocks. So once there's no weak groups, that's when Endgame starts. And I think the next step to getting to Dawn level is Endgame. I think Endgame is something very few people study, and even at like the Dawn level, you can see some very bad Endgame moves. The most common thing I see though in game is that they try to play in the center, or so like they'll immediately try to play a move like this and try and grow this area. But once black gets all these pushes here, there's Aji here, so can't even really do that. But because it's in the center, it's much harder to surround. So just by playing sensei moves and playing them in order, you can gain much more than white can gain in the center. So this one is a sensei move, because if he ignores, I can jump in and then this group gets very weak. So he has to respond. And so while he did this, I gained a few points. And I did it almost for free. And again, I play on this side, which again, if he tanukis somewhere, I can jump in and the whole group gets weak. So he has to block. So I reduced his area quite a bit, and then I can still reduce it further later. But instead, I jump to the top side, because this is another big in-game move. So again, I play another big move, which is reducing this top side. Okay, and then he blocks. Because if he doesn't block, then I can push here one more time, and then there's some Aji here. But the main thing is I would make a lot of points as well. Okay, so I played here because now there's a clamp here. If he tanukis, I can clamp because I have this connection here. Even if I lost 2 stones here, I capture a lot more. Okay, and then he descends, and now these 2 stones are very small. I see a lot of players, they'll just connect here without really thinking, and it's very small because it's only 2 stones. And when you defend here, you're not making any points. All you're doing is stopping black from captured 2 stones. So I tanuki and played this one, which again is a very big move. If I block here and he gets to play here, I believe this is a 6-point double sensei. So whoever plays there first gains 6 points in sensei. So it's a very big move. Then I played here. So again, I kept sensei. And at this point, I'm out of a lot of good moves that are on the side. So the biggest ones that kind of look like double sensei would be this one. But he didn't really have any points here anyway. So this is more reverse sensei. So if I don't play there, so let's say in the game, later in the game I play here, he blocks, and then I play here, and he blocks again. So I gain a few points here, and he doesn't really gain any points. If we reverse that and say black plays here first, he gets all of this, and then he can block here. And now you can see white's area got reduced a lot. And same on both sides. And then now instead of making almost no points here, he's making about 6. So I think these are both probably worth 6 points this way and 6 points this way. So it's like 12-point difference or more in sensei. So at this point, where Endgame is starting, here I think white is definitely ahead, just mostly because this group is still kind of weak, and then this group also has some weaknesses. But if we count points, it's not that big of a difference. Let's count white real quick. So if we count white and black, white has about 46.5 points with Komi, and black has about 50 points. That's also ignoring the weaknesses here. We're just both going to say that both this group and this group are alive, and we're counting the points that they have. But other than that, the game is very close. Black is even slightly ahead. But if we just fast forward a bit to where I play all the in games and try and reduce everything. So we'll say before I even killed these stones. Let's try counting again. Okay, now ignoring again the weaknesses here and here, black has 53 points. And white has 55 points with Komi. And not much has changed except White just played some endgame moves, but I played the bigger ones first, and so that let me catch up and even take the lead. And then again, he had some very weak groups that I was able to put some pressure on because his groups just weren't solid enough. But even if they both lived, I would still be ahead just because of points. And I wasn't counting any potential here for White either, so White is probably ahead by even more. And then once I'm able to cut this off and again take Sente again, then it's just kind of game over. Later on, I'll probably do a more in-depth series on Endgame. But for now, I just kind of wanted to point out where to really start on Endgame, which is just focusing on the big points and mostly on the corners and sides first, because those are the normally the bigger Sente moves. And I think I also just wanted to show like when you play very solid and you keep your group strong, and you play someone else that also plays solid and keeps their group strong, the two biggest things that are going to determine who wins is going to be whose groups were more efficient and were actually stronger and in game. So if you can get to where you have strong groups and some good in game, then it's very easy to win games and rank up. But hopefully that was interesting. Not much content on this one, but hopefully you guys liked it and it was helpful. And I will see you next time.